If you're thinking about starting a business, you've probably realized there's a lot more to it than just having a great idea. Look, I get it. The whole process can be overwhelming. You've got this business idea that you're excited about, but then you start looking into ABNs, business structures, tax obligations, and suddenly it feels like you need a law degree just to get started. I've been helping business owners navigate this exact process for years, and I can tell you, it doesn't have to be complicated. I'm Davie, I'm a chartered accountant, and through my accounting firm, Box Advisory Services, I've guided hundreds of entrepreneurs through their business setup. What I'm about to share with you are the 4 exact steps you need to take to set yourself up for success. Let's get straight into it. Every successful business starts with a solid plan. So the first step to starting a business is taking the time to refine your business idea and research the market properly. Think of a well-crafted business plan as your blueprint. It outlines your business objectives and the strategies you'll use to achieve them. This means identifying your target market and competitors, defining exactly what products or services you'll offer, and figuring out how you'll deliver real value to customers. You need to understand who your potential customers actually are and whether your idea fulfills a real need they have. Ask yourself, would people actually pay for this? Or do I just think it's a good idea? Planning also means thinking seriously about funding and revenue forecasts. Will you use personal savings, loans, or investors? Budget for all your expenses until the business becomes self-sustaining. Here are a few tips that you need to think about in your business plan. How much capital you have and the runway until you break even. Backup plans if you need more capital or help. Is your business idea profitable, and is the margins there for it to be a profitable business? Is there a high enough demand for customers to pay for your services or product? And what is your competitive edge over competitors? Once you've got your plan sorted, it's time to make it official with step 2, which is choosing a business structure and registering your business. Choosing your business structure is quite a big decision because it's essentially the legal structure that will govern your business registration requirements, tax obligations, and ongoing admin responsibilities. So you need to pick one that suits your situation. In Australia, there are 4 main options you can choose from: sole trader, company, partnership, or trust. When you set up your business as a sole trader, you're the sole owner and legally responsible for everything the business does. It's easy and low cost to set up, but there's no legal separation between you and the business. That means you're personally liable for any debts. A partnership is when 2 or more run a business together. You share control, profits, and legal responsibility. It's relatively easy to set up, but like a sole trader, the partners are personally liable. This structure is not as common anymore, but sometimes life partners like a husband and wife will set this up as it's cheap and relatively easy. If you set your business up as a company, you're creating a separate legal entity. You can own assets, be sued, or sue others. It's more expensive to set up and has more ongoing compliance requirements, but your personal liability is limited. Another thing to note is that a company pays tax at the company tax rate of 25%, not your individual tax rate. And lastly, you have the option of using a trust, which is a structure where a trustee manages assets or business operations for the benefit of others, which are called beneficiaries. Trusts are more complex and expensive to run, but they can offer tax planning flexibility and asset protection. They require a formal trust deed and ongoing admin costs. In most cases, new businesses start out with a sole trader structure because it's simple, low cost to register with an ABN, and you have full control over decisions. It's easy to manage from a tax and admin point of view, and there's less red tape compared to companies or trusts. That said, as the business grows, or if there are legal or tax considerations, like bringing in a partner or wanting asset protection, many shift to a company or trust structure later on. So that's just something to keep in mind. Your structure is not static and should evolve as your business does. After you decide on your structure, you need to register your business. Most businesses in Australia must get an ABN, which is an Australian business number. Think of it as a unique 11-digit identifier for your business. You'll use this when dealing with other businesses and the government for things like invoices and tax credits. And make sure you get your tax file number as well. You should also register your business name with ASIC if you plan to trade under a name other than your own. To do this, you'll need to search the business name registry to make sure your desired name is available and register a matching domain name for your website early on. You don't want to have to rebrand later on because you picked an unavailable domain name. Once step 2 is complete, you officially have a business. This is the time you should set up a business bank account as well. Now, you need to focus on keeping it on the right side of the law, which is step 3. Running a business in Australia comes with legal, regulatory, and tax requirements that you need to handle from day 1. Let's start with taxation. At a minimum, every business needs a tax file number. If you're a sole trader, you can use your own personal tax file number. Companies and partnerships need their own. Then you need to consider GST, which is goods and services tax. It's a 10% tax added to most goods and services sold in Australia. If you're a business and your turnover is $75,000 or more, you must register for GST. You then add 10% to your prices when selling to customers. You can also claim back the GST you pay on business purchases. Every quarter, you report this through your business activity statements to the ATO. For example, if you sell a service for $1,000, you will charge $1,100 including GST. The extra $100 gets passed on to the ATO when you lodge your BASs. And if you plan to hire employees, even if it's just one person, you will need to set up PAYG withholding. This is a system where businesses withhold tax from payments they make to others like their employees and send it to the ATO on their behalf. Once you've registered for all those taxes, you can automate these processes using payroll softwares like Xero. For example, Xero will automatically apply 10% GST to sales and purchases where needed. It will also help you track how much GST you owe or can claim and generate your BAS to lodge with the ATO. And if you pay your employees, Xero's payroll feature will automatically calculate PAYG tax based on your income and tax file number. It will deduct the right amount from their pay and keep records for your BAS reporting needs. You can also lodge STP, single touch payroll reports directly with the ATO through Xero. It's actually the software I use myself, and they're the sponsors behind this video today. If you're not on Xero yet, this might be a good time to look into it. I've left a link in the description with a special offer if you want to check it out. Other than taxes, you need to make sure you have all the necessary licenses or permits for your industry. A lot of businesses need specific licenses. The Australian Business License and Information Service is a useful tool to identify what permits or licenses apply to your business type and location. Then there's insurance. If you hire staff, you're required to have workers' compensation insurance to cover workplace injuries. Certain industries or clients might require public liability insurance, which protects against third-party injury or property damage claims. And if you use a vehicle or equipment for your business, you need compulsory third-party injury insurance. And the last step is to start organizing your finances and set up a record-keeping system. My biggest tip is to keep your personal and business finances separate. This makes it easier to track income, claim deductions, and avoid confusion. Use accounting softwares like Xero to track income and expenses, reconcile your bank transactions, and create and send invoices. You also need to set up a system for keeping receipts and documents. I highly recommend going digital for this, so find an app you like that can keep track of all this. You can even use Xero for this. If you have the mobile app set up, you can take photos of your receipts and upload them to Xero. You can then link those receipts to specific transactions or expense claims. For other documents like contracts, leases, insurance, and other legal documents, organize folders in Google Drive or Dropbox to keep them organized. The ATO requires you to keep these records for at least 5 years. And the last thing under this step is to set up a system that automates putting aside a portion of your income to cover for taxes and GST. The last thing you want is to be hit with a tax bill you can't afford. I suggest at least 20% to 30% of your income, just put it in a savings account. So there you have it, the 4 steps that will set your business up for success from day 1. There are of course other things to think about like marketing plan, for example, but start here and get the foundations right and then work on your marketing for your business and how you're going to scale. Good luck. I'll see you guys next time.